Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Drew and Stu podcast. I'm Drew Livingstone. That's Cam Stewart. Cam, we were this close to having the PGA Championship winner. We both had Bryson DeChambeau outright. We're both sweating it out when Xander's on 18 with his feet in the sand, unorthodox swing. I was like, maybe he'll shank this somewhere. And he just kept not blowing it. It was unlike Xander we've ever seen before, Cam. How did it feel Sunday watching that happen?
It hurt, Drew. I'm not going to lie. And, you know, we do a lot of golf betting. We'll tell the viewers, even if you're not a big fan of the sport, it's probably one of the best sports to bet due to what you did. And you were talking to me, you know, you get a cash out option. And if you see your guy tied and you want to make $500, $600, you know, you can win 1,000. So just take the money, depending on your investment, right? Like Xander Schauffele has come second so many times. But I will say this. He also has been the first round leader 2 weeks in a row and a win. So you want to talk about a guy that's turning it around. And remember, Scotty Scheffler, when he first started this game, he was a guy that was a lot like Xander. Oh, second. Oh, third. Second. And then he got over that hump, Drew. This could be scary for things to come. This guy might be bettable. I'm not going to say he's going to be Scotty Scheffler, but I'm going to say he's going to be involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Scheffler. What a while. We haven't talked since then, have we?
No, we haven't. What were your thoughts on a player, per the report, dragging a police officer 30 yards or 10 yards, 30 feet, going to jail, and then making his tee time still 2 hours later?
Well, I'd like to be go to that jail. I don't know. It was amazing, Drew. I don't know any guy that gets booked and gets out in 3 hours and he's like really even like half an hour before his tee-off time. But that's the beautiful thing about being the number one golfer in the world. Let's just say this happened to
Corey Connors or someone.
Corey Connor. Well, yeah, we'll use a Canadian. Mac Hughes.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are in jail till they're in jail till the next day. Yeah, he's calling Mike Weir. Do you got bond? You got bond? No, honestly, but here's the thing about it. I see it from both sides of you. First of all, the cop is overzealous, but you have to follow the rules of society, bro. When everybody else had their girlfriends and whatever picking them up during the stuff, he decided to be, I'm Scotty Scheffler and I'm going to get out of here. Everybody else
apparently he was weaving in between the pylons.
Yeah. Like, dude, why? Because you're the number one golfer in the world. You don't take instructions from people. But anyway, it's much ado about nothing. He's got an arraignment. He's going to get off. The charges are going to be dropped. But you know what? The funny thing is, Drew, as we talk about with sports, he played on adrenaline great. Everyone's like, he's going to win the tournament. And then the second day I caught up with him when he hit the gag job and got out of the tournament. That's what happens sometimes.
He still finished top 10.
Dude, the guy's amazing. He's playing this week.
That's why it's funny. It's like we're like, he had a bad week. He was only T8. Like, yeah.
I know. Yeah, imagine going to jail and being top 10 in a major. That must be nice. The guy's like a robot. He's a cyborg, man. He's different than you and me and everybody else. He's got that like factor of like, I don't know what it is, Drew. Like the one thing about golfers, like you have to have the ability just to not care. Like to
cut out the noise.
Yeah. Like look at Brooks Koepka. We both had him too. He got emotional.
Well, did you see?
He started snapping. Like he missed 3-foot putts. He was going bananas. Like that guy.
Did you
really
see what Koepka did on Instagram?
No.
So Rory McIlroy's divorce filings came out. Same within 5 minutes, Koepka posts a picture of his wife and goes, so happy to be married to this hottie or something like that. And I was like, it's a straight shot at McIlroy.
The guy's unreal. Hey, like he can't help himself. He was in a war with DeChambeau before too. Remember? Remember he's walking in.
And he's like, I hate that guy. Yeah.
He's doing the interview. All he hears crunch, crunch, crunch. Like his spikes right behind him in the interview. He goes, God, I hate that guy.
But I love Koepka. I love him. I love Koepka.
You know what though? He's got to be very careful though, because his communities, his friends are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The way he goes about business, he's a bit of a bully. But anyway,
I'm all for the villain angle in golf. Patrick Reed the same. Everyone hates Patrick Reed. I think he's hilarious. Like if you're gonna cheat, just cheat. Who cares? Like he's just my club's in the sand. I'm gonna curl it back a little bit, make some more room for my ball. Okay.
You know what? You bring up good points, Drew. The thing about golf is I think a sport more people would get into. It's really good for gambling, like telling everybody, because you can have the matchup bets and, outrights and top 5s and 10s, but it doesn't have that, like, I hate this guy type of look. Yeah, like in hockey, this guy doesn't like this guy, or baseball, football, this team hates this team. Bills hate Chiefs. Eagles hate Cowboys. You're right. They need more villains and, tell Koepka to do his thing because he does a good job at it. That's for sure.
And the PGA needs to stop being so scared and pair Rory with Koepka and Phil and like have all these guys play with each other for a couple of days and see them get angry.
Me and Gabe were talking about on our show too. Do you see Rory and Tiger's exchange on the bridge? I thought they were
was
buddies.
weird.
They didn't
Really
even
weird.
look at each other. Like
Yeah.
it's like me and you not look like the dude. Like they're in business together with that golf company.
With that indoor golf
Yes,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. Hey,
I
but
think it's
Drew-
because Rory or Tiger left Nike and like Rory got left behind with that.
Why they can't say hi to each other because you work for Reebok and I work for Adidas? Like, give me a break. That's
Yeah,
you know what that is, Drew. That's weak sauce. Big
That
time.
is. All right, Cam. Before we get into the hockey, the conference
Yep.
finals picks, let's preview the Charles Schwab
Yep.
challenge. You got some picks. I haven't really looked into this tournament, so I'm going to trust you. I only really dive deep into the majors. So, Cam, tell me who we picking this week.
That's why we're here, Drew. We dive deep every week. I don't care if it's Todd Flanders versus Bart Simpson in a putt-putt contest. I really don't care. If it moves, we're betting on it. Here's the deal. We had second last week. You know who's playing really good all of a sudden, Drew, and he's got his mojo back?
Who?
One, Colin Morikawa. He's starting to be on
true.
leaderboards again. I got a bet boost at 15-1.
He blew it on Sunday, though.
Yeah, he's my chalk. I got two chalk guys for you this week. The tournament's
Okay.
played at Colonial. For people that don't know, it's in Texas. Short course. Who plays well here? University of Texas. The problem is Scotty Scheffler went to Texas too. He's a Longhorn,
Yeah.
but Jordan Spieth did. Jordan Spieth is 22-1. This is the tournament where I think Jordan Spieth gets back on his game and does well. I got three more for you. I'm not going to give you 20 because this is not a golf show, but guys, Brian Harmon, the little lefty that could, perfect track for him. Not too long, 40-1. Drew, do we not love a big hoagie sandwich? Tom Hoagie at 45-1. This is his event. This is a guy that hits fairways and greens. If his putter hot, that's a nice price. And don't shank the ball. We want to hit it in the fairway with Adam Shank at 80-1. Watch out for don't shank it, but bet him. Let's roll.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone. Is there anyone over 100-1 for the viewers that like those $2 long shots that you like?
There was a guy that I was looking at. What was he? Was it Nate Lashley? I always take him though, but
Nate Lashley 125-1.
Yeah, but he's one of the, he's better, maybe a better first round bet because he can come out, but he has problems maintaining. Another
What about
guy
Michael Kim at 150-1?
A couple people I know like Mike Kim this week. I like Austin Eckroat, but he was bet down from 90 to 66, and Andrew Putnam at 70-1 also is the type of player that'll play well here. Small.
All right,
doesn't
so
hit
Cam doesn't like any of the long shots. What about Michael Block, our boy? He's playing in this tournament.
Michael Block will be faded in every matchup that's available.
Oh, so you're
I'll
gonna
take him versus like a senior that's in this tournament. Yeah, Michael Block's
Really?
done. Yeah, how'd he do at the PGA last week?
I mean, he did.
Drew,
He
he had 4 good days of golf in his
I know, and all he does is talk shit. So every time he's like,
I'm
"Oh,
Michael
I'm
Block.
just as good as these guys," and blah blah blah. And it's like, are you?
I'd love to be Michael Block and have like four great days of my life and just ride it for the rest of my life. But no, Drew, I wouldn't say 80-1 with Shank is not like that's a pretty good price. Like I got to be honest with you, I want to take 150-1 guys too, but a lot of the problem is why they're 150 is they fade on Sunday and they fade on Saturday. They're Thursday and Friday Warriors.
I'm just trying to think of somebody here that
Yeah,
maybe...
actually, name a couple guys. I'll hit. What's Lucas Glover? Okay, give me a couple guys.
Charlie Hoffman, CT Pan, Grayson Murray, your boy Zach Johnson.
He's actually, you know what? Zach Johnson's actually playing better.
He plays good in Texas.
Yes, he does. I actually would look at him if you like a ball.
If it was the John Deere, I'd say he could win, but I don't know about this one.
And Steve Stricker. Always Steve Stricker and Zach Johnson at the John Deere.
Brant Snedeker, 400-1.
He's my friend. I love Brant Snedeker, but no, he's not.
Fair enough.
No, Zach Johnson, sprinkle.
All right, there you go. Moving on, Cam. The Florida Panthers taking on the New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final. Both teams dominated their first 2 rounds of the playoffs. It's a huge Goliath against another Goliath. Both teams, Cam, are juggernauts. I still like New York to make the finals. Are you on board with that as well? I know you have your New York-Dallas bet. You're outright your cup final, so you want that to happen, but Florida's a wagon, Cam. Can New York down these guys?
Great questions, Drew. As always, you know your stuff about hockey, and I have that Rangers to win the East, Dallas to win the West bet and parlayed. So
yeah.
I have to really do the math and think a proper, like what you did with your smart move with Xander Schauffele when we both had Bryson DeChambeau. You looked at the profits and said, you know what? I'd rather have $500-$600 than no dollars. So you take it. Here's what I'm going to do with this series. I'm almost hoping that the Rangers win the first game so I can come on Florida at a crazy price. I love the series to go 7, both teams. I think this thing goes the distance. I'm going to bet both sides of it if it does go 7. The difference is Shesterkin is better than Bob, but when Bob is hot, He's great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he like in the
Yeah,
playoffs?
no,
Bob's been unreal.
Bob's been but Florida's a better. No, let's call it out for what it is. Carolina, they really screwed up. They could have come back and made hockey history. The Rangers 5-on-5 were not that great. Florida's tougher. They have mean guys on their team, angry guys.
That's what I'm worried about. New York has not been good at 5-on-5, Cam.
Dude, Ekblad's healthy. Wasn't he in a walking boot the last time things happened when they went this far in the playoffs? So I hate to say it. I'm going to actually get out of my bet, make money. Give me Florida in 7 claws. It goes the distance. Panthers in 7.
Panthers in 7 is plus 500. I don't think, Cam, I picked New York to win the cup, but watching these playoffs, Florida Panthers, I've been calling them frauds all year.
They're not frauds.
Cam, do I back out of what I said? And I got all these Florida Panthers fans DMing me and I'm like, oh, they're frauds, huh? They're frauds, huh? I think they can win the series too, but you're giving me the Rangers, the number 1 seed at plus 125 to win the series. I have to take that, Cam. And yeah, give me the Rangers in 6 plus 650.
How do you feel about these type of bets too? Because if you like the Rangers, you got to think nobody really on their team. There's like 2 guys that could win Conn Smythe. It would be Kreider because he's so clutch, and the goalie Shesterkin if he stands on his head. So when you're doing those type of markets for MVP and stuff, you really got to narrow it down, right? They have one like, will a goaltender be it? It's like plus 125 or whatever. So I think if you're looking at each team, guys, you look at like only certain guys. Like for
Chris
Dallas,
Kreider's still 70 to 1 to win the Conn Smythe.
That's. I got to be honest. That's wrong. Like, but the thing
Panarin's ahead of him, Zibanejad's ahead of him, and
wrong.
Shesterkin's ahead of him.
That's not even fair. Okay, you tell me who's been the best New York Ranger. Tell me.
Shesterkin.
But who's been the best forward in clutch situations?
Kreider,
Thank you. So other than Shesterkin, you sprinkle on Kreider, and then you have that. And as for Florida, I think Barkov might be somebody you look at. And would you go with Bob? That's the thing. If you're talking about East, and then I'm just saying, like, we'll go through all the series, but who do you think in those situations?
I think Barkov's the Florida pick if you're going for Conn Smythe. He's plus 650. Yeah, it's crazy to me that maybe Verhaeghe at 25.
Verhaeghe's one of my favorite players in the league. I don't think he gets talked about enough. Like, he's a great hockey player.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know, Cam. I think maybe Verhaeghe or Barkov for Florida, and then on New York side, I think you're right with Shesterkin or Kreider. Kreider being 70 to 1 is ridiculous. I'm going to sprinkle on that as soon as this show's over, because if he scores another 6 goals in the playoffs.
Kreider. Here's the thing about the series too. I know a lot of people that will there be 2 or more games go to overtime plus 160? I think it's going to be a really tight series. I know that number is not very high, but I think the first game might go over 5.5 because every first game when teams are kind of whatever, it's a little bit looser. I see a lot of 2-1, 3-2 hockey games in this series, overtime games, tight games. The Rangers can't get into a shinny game against a team like Florida. Florida's very disciplined, and the goaltending's really good on both sides. So that's kind of my take on it. I think this series is going to be really tight, and I think a lot of games are going to go to OT.
Yeah, my thing is Florida hasn't really I respect the Bruins, but the Bruins are not good on paper, Cam, and they missed Marchand for a bunch of that series. Like the Bruins were an easier opponent than Tampa, I think, for the Florida Panthers. Am I wrong for saying that?
You're not wrong for saying that. It's just the Bruins are just one of those teams that are hard out because they're battle tested and they have guys who show up. They're men. They're very tough.
But I'm just saying, New York's a different level of competition compared to what Florida's faced so far. Mm-hmm. Whereas New York beat Carolina, and Carolina, I'd say, is on par with Florida. So I think New York's already been tested in these playoffs. So I think they'll come out strong game 1, knowing the level of opponent. And I think Florida still has to get up to that level. So I think New York wins the game 1 in a walk, 5-1.
Really? I'm not sure about that, but I would not be shocked if the Rangers won game 1. And if you like the Panthers, guys, then you get a great price. That's the way, Drew, that's how we did. Remember this? You did it, and I'll give you credit. You did it with Toronto. You go, I'm on Boston game 7. You played that series like a fiddle. It was perfect. Know what I did with Carolina? They were down 3-0. The thing went to 3-3. I'm like, I'm in a great spot right now. They're what were they, 25 or something? They
25 to win the series.
Yeah. Well, when you're down 3-0, then you just put some money on the Rangers, and I go, now I make a dime. It's one of those situations where you can do so many things when you're down. It works in the NBA. It works in hockey. And if you like a team, don't panic or whatever. Take a good number. That's the key.
Fair enough. So you're saying if you think New York wins game 1 and you like Florida in the series, wait tonight till after the game. Yeah. I mean, realistically, whoever wins tonight, you could take the losing side in the series just because these teams are going to be so close, and it's a possibility regardless. And maybe you can hedge out later in the series. All right,
Cam. More, Drew. Couldn't
So
agree more.
you like Florida tonight?
I'm not sure about tonight. I'm going to take. What do you think about that 5.5?
I think it's going to be 5-1 Rangers, so I'll take the over.
I lean over as well, and I'm going to I still think Florida win. I know a lot of people like the Rangers in game 1. I still like Florida in 7. I'll take them in game 1 as well, but I'm going to wait. I almost hope the Rangers win this game, but I do like the over 5.5 more.
All right, Cam. Moving on to the Western Conference Final. The Edmonton Oilers took out the Vancouver Canucks, winning game 6 and 7. Mm-hmm. They dominated them, Cam. Vancouver just didn't show up for game 7 yet again. They showed up late with under 10 minutes remaining, but it's too little too late. I don't know what's wrong with the Canucks. They couldn't get any shots on goal. Feel bad for Seelovs. I mean, they let him get peppered.
He did great.
That's one thing. I feel bad for him. He played unbelievable.
Drew, you got to be fair. Let's be fair to this team. They're a young team. They exceeded expectations. Hockey did a great job.
I feel like if you're first place, you should make the conference finals, Cam.
They're a young hockey team. You have to learn to lose. You know this, Drew. You're a Colorado Avalanche fan. It takes a while, and then you break through. That's the National Hockey League is about losing.
The issue is, Cam, Vancouver has so many guys no longer under contract. This team's going to be way different next year. This might have been their chance.
I disagree. I think they'll go spend money. I think the ownership group understands that they're close. They're going to have one of the best goaltending tandems with Sheilov as a backup to Demko.
Yeah,
right?
That's fair.
I think it is fair. You're one thing about you is hockey. You're an Avalanche fan, but you have to admit, Vancouver, they did a lot of really, really good things. Tocchet, people are like, Rick Tocchet. Oh, yeah, but he's not a retread coach. He got the best out of these guys. And Pettersson and some of these other guys didn't step up when they needed to.
Cam, they're giving Pettersson bums to play with on his wing. What do you want from the guy? It's just, I know he's supposed to be able to drive lines, but you're putting him with friggin' Ilya Mikheyev and Sam Lafferty.
You're right. You need better. Yeah, you need help. I agree with that statement. But let's give Vancouver credit. They took Edmonton to 7 games. And they had a third-string goalie who was a 6th-round pick from Latvia net, and he almost stole games.
I think Seelovs is the reason it went 7, because I think Edmonton dominated probably 5 of these 7 games. So, yeah, I don't know. Cam, they're losing everyone on defense besides Soucy and Hughes under contract. Philip Hronik wants $8 million. He's an RFA. Is he really worth $8 million?
No. Know what Hughes needs to do, too? Another point that a lot of guys brought up. He's a young kid. He figured out you lose a lot of weight playing hockey. He's got to bulk up because when you get bigger in the playoffs, that's the thing. You're going to have to – the key is if you're going to go deep into the playoffs, you need a guy. You got to put on a little bit of weight because you're going to lose weight in those long
especially if you're the 1D playing 30 minutes a night. You can't have Evander Kane plowing you over because you're so small in the corner.
There's guys who lose 6 to 8 pounds of water and sweat a game. So you have to you need to be bigger. It's hard. So that's something he'll learn.
Do you think the Canucks bring back Lindholm? Probably not.
I don't know. All I know is they're on the path in the right ways if they make the right moves. You got to admit though, Drew, their ownership group is pretty smart guys. They have good hockey men in there, and I think they have a good coach. I think they have a good base.
Yeah, I mean that Lindholm train ended up looking terrible for them, the one they made at the deadline to acquire him. But yeah, if they spend their money right, they can turn this around again. But this could go really wrong off the rails. They can miss the playoffs next year if they don't do this offseason properly, Cam. So they're in limbo here.
I didn't get your opinion before we get to the other game quickly on Berube and the Leafs. I was hoping that they'd give Brind'Amour an offer, but Carolina already had a plan that I know he said he wasn't going to be there. I don't mind it. He's a good, hard-nosed guy. I don't know, but is it really the difference? He just seems like a guy. He was very good, won a cup with the Blues, but I don't know. He could.
My thing is, Cam, he won a cup with the Blues.
He seems like an old school guy, and they got a lot of guys who might not listen to an old school guy. Kind of like.
Well, they didn't listen to Babcock. They drove him out of town because he was too mean.
That's what I'm talking about.
But my thing is, Cam. He won the Stanley Cup as an interim head coach using the system that was already installed. He was just the motivator. He even admitted that. He's like, I didn't change anything once I became head coach. I just switched the way I talked to the players, and we went and won the cup. Once the system was in place, they made round 2s and stuff, but they were first place in the division, but they didn't ever get past that round 2. It's weird.
They were a team that was very, very tough. When you looked at the players on their team, when they played San
Jose,
they're
huge. They were
even
huge.
when they were down, I'm like, the size of the Blues, I started to realize, I go, the Sharks are done. The Blues are just, even when they're losing, they're killing them and putting guys down. And the Sharks, after a while, were like, we can't deal with this because the Blues were just murderers and they're all giant guys who just plow you. That's the Leafs aren't that team. That's the problem.
Colorado's Cup run, Cam. I stand by the fact that their round 2 series against Craig Berube's Blues was the hardest series they played out of those 4 that year. I think it was harder than Tampa in the Stanley Cup final.
Smart guy. You're absolutely correct.
Cam, if I had to ask you, how many head coaches in NHL history have won a Stanley Cup with 2 teams? What do you think?
Well, Scotty Bowman won with multiple teams.
That's 1.
I'm thinking about 4.
The answer is 3, and only 1 since 1947, and it was Scotty Bowman. So odds are Craig Berube will not win a cup in Toronto. Isn't that crazy that Scotty Bowman's the only one to do it with more than one team since 1947?
Odds are Craig Berube will not win a cup in Toronto. Okay, yeah, thanks.
I'm just saying, breaking news. Breaking news, Cam.
Breaking news. They might not win a cup.
Yeah.
I told you, I'm getting older now, Drew. I know me and my dad, we crack jokes about it. I'm invested. I'll still cheer, but I'm just not putting the effort in.
Well, you saw what, Frank Sinatra Monday night? That was laughing at you for going to the show.
Yeah, I went down to the senior. Actually, they had the senior home. They had, remember Tom Jones and Engelbert Humperdinck? They used to throw panties at women's in the show. Dude, I go down to the seniors' place and watch their talent shows. I literally leave like I'm rolling. I'm laughing. Sorry. This guy's face was made of plaster. He had so many plastic surgeries. Anyway, let's talk stars in Edmonton.
Yes,
not
let's talk
senior shows.
So, am I crazy, Cam? I think the Dallas Stars are going in reverse, as in the tougher their opponent. Their opponent's getting easier by the round. They go Vegas in round 1, go 7. I think they were the toughest opponent by far in the playoffs. Colorado round 2, easier than Vegas, still pretty tough. Now they go round 3 against Edmonton. I think Edmonton's an easier opponent than both Colorado and Vegas, Cam. Am I crazy?
Sorry, my dad's calling me. Can I pick it up?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me you're on the show.
Hey, Dad, I'm just taping the show. We're talking hockey, and then I'm going to down and pick you up. And
ask him who he likes, Oilers or Stars.
Oilers or Stars, Dad? Who do you like, Dallas or Edmonton? Yeah, am I picking you up or what? Okay. Actually, you don't want to hear what he just said on the phone. He's not feeling too good. And anyway, we'll talk about that. Okay, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later on then. Okay, I go get you some Imodium. Okay, I'll go make sure I hit the store. Okay, love you, Dad. Okay, anyway, me and Lisa were going to take you out for breakfast, but if that's going to happen, that's okay. But I bought you groceries. I'll drop them off later. Okay, love you. Feel better. Take your pills. Oh, that was disappointing. Okay, yeah, he's having a little problem with dinner last night at the home. A little loose.
Yeah, well, they probably not high quality control.
I was going to put him on speaker. I have diarrhea.
Yeah. You don't want everyone.
See, Drew, that's why when I do shows, that's why I take calls. You never know what's going to happen. It could be somebody that owes me money, somebody I owe money, my dad having problems with bowel movements. So it's life. You know? Yeah, it's just, I'm a good son. I take my groceries for my dad. Oh, yeah, bowel movement. Yeah.
The Edmonton Oilers, Cam. I think they're going to get losing 5 games.
That segue was amazing. Here's what I think. We're almost on the same page. I think Edmonton gets 2 from them. Dallas in 6.
Do you agree that it's their easiest opponent of the playoffs for the Dallas Stars?
I don't know about that. I think Edmonton's still a very dangerous team in any type of situation.
So you think Edmonton would have beat Colorado or Vegas?
No, I don't.
Exactly. No. So they're the easiest opponent Dallas has played so far.
I'm just saying,
they're good. I agree with you. I'm saying Dallas has gone through a gauntlet already. So I think Edmonton's their easiest opponent. That's why I think they go through it like a cakewalk.
I just can't believe my dad just called me and told me that. I was just really looking forward to going out for breakfast. I feel sick. Listen, Dallas, here's the thing. Wyatt Johnson's the best player almost in the league right now.
Chris Tanev too, Cam. That guy's shutting down freaking everybody.
Chris Tanev is awesome. Like, what a player that guy is. And you know what the thing is? Dallas hasn't even got anything from Pavelski and like other guys who like might bring their best, like going, this is it, man. I can win a Stanley Cup here. Like, let's get the party going. Edmonton is a very good hockey team. I don't want to rip Oiler fans. I'm not that type of guy. No. But I'm going to say this. Dallas has 4 lines that'll put you into the ground. They're deeper. They're better. They're power forwards. Like, what's Edmonton going to do? Like, you know what though? They have one key in this. If a goalie stands on their head and Bouchard like is scoring on every power play. Edmonton can only beat Dallas if their power play is perfect, and that can happen, but I will take the Stars in 6.
Okay, and the Stars' third line is Ben Sagan and Dadonov. Like, it's just unbelievable how deep their team is. And even like Sam Steele and Fax on the 4th line is great. But yeah,
I love Sam Steele.
Tanev and Lindell, Cam, have been paired against every tough matchup. Like, they shut down McKinnon in round 2. They shut down the top guys in Vegas in round 1. I think they're going to be paired with. They're going to be shadowing McDavid, and they're going to make McDavid's life hell. I just don't see how Edmonton can win the series, Cam. Plus their goaltending issues. Like, they don't know if Stuart Sinner's going to be good or bad every night. Like, it's just you're not playing with confidence in front of them. And Edmonton's defensive core is just brutal. Like,
they have a couple good offensive guys, but against Dallas, that's not going to cut mustard. You need guys who can stop players. And like
Bouchard's great offensively. Bouchard's not great defensively.
I understand that. His slap shot's out of control though. It's so
the boost bomb.
It's too much.
But like, I'm going to take Darnell Nurse, most overpaid defenseman in the league. He's so overrated. Desharnais, not great. Kulak, not great. Cody Ceci, not great. Just
remember Cody Ceci got dropped by Ottawa, Toronto, Pittsburgh. Like he's the definition of.
Hey Cam, you know
like
who
a great
has,
guy. He's a sixth defenseman for fun.
if I'd tell you who has more goals in Game 7s the last 3 years, Cody Ceci or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
The answer is Cody Ceci.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, you never stop. Hey, where's he gonna get a phone call pretty soon? Anyway, so we're in agreement. Dallas Stars, and do you think Dallas is better than Rangers or Florida if they get there? I worry about like Florida. You know what? A Florida
I think
Dallas series would be a bloodbath.
I think Dallas beats New York. I think Dallas loses to Florida because of the matchup.
You know what? I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I go, the only team I'm scared of is Florida because Florida can they match.
They can beat them. Yeah, beat them up. Okay, series correct score, Cam. I'm thinking 5, but you're thinking 6?
Yeah, I think we should bet both because it's funny. I've done a couple shows. A lot of people like Dallas and 5. I think 6 is the number, but I'm just going to take Dallas to. I already have them to go to the Stanley Cup and to win the Stanley Cup, so I'm kind of in good shape.
So if we take what you took, Florida in 7 and Dallas in 6, it's 40-1 parlay.
Can you? Just send that to me, and I will parlay that. Is it on the same thing that we usually do our golf on? I'll do that right after the show. MVP. Who do we do MVP? I think we got to take a Panther, and we sprinkle if we like Florida. And
I'm going Barkov, Kreider, probably Wyatt Johnson.
We need 2 stars then, and we'll have no Oilers because we'll hedge out the Oilers. We don't believe are going anywhere. Going to win. So
Jake Ottinger's the favorite to win the Conn Smythe right now, but I don't agree with that really because he's not he's been good, but he hasn't been great. Wyatt Johnston, I think, is probably the guy I'd like.
What's his odds?
He's 14-1, and then Miro Heiskanen's 12-1.
I love Heiskanen too. I love your picks. I like them both.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else really doing it.
Well, I better win money because it looks like I'm gonna have to buy my dad some products here. Get him some Pepto-Bismol, like whatever the heck's going on. I was going to put him on speakerphone. You should have heard what he told me.
I can't. We got diarrhea. It's like
no breakfast today. Diarrhea. Bad dinner.
I don't know why I thought your dad would have a Scottish accent. I don't know why.
No, he doesn't have a Scottish accent.
When did the accent end in your family line? Like your grandparents?
Great. I think it was great. Like, dude, we've been living in the paper here. Did a story about my dad as the first settlers in Mississauga, like after the Canadian, like he went to the first high school. You're like Canadian. Yeah, like we're hosers to hoser, like back bacon hosers. Like, fair, hey, everybody, like, yeah, we're Canadian.
I thought you were like first generation Canadian.
I'm not. I say I'm Scottish. Like my family side is my mom's side's Irish actually too. So I have Irish and Scottish, which is probably bad for alcohol consumption. But I got the gambling. I don't know where I got the gambling from. It just kind of happened when I was young on the golf course.
Yeah, that's just how it happens. Yeah, my father had the big, strong Irish accent, so I was first gen Canadian here. I wish I grew up with it. I remember going over there overseas when I was little, and like you come back with your accent when you're a kid if you spend enough time over there.
But buddy, I went to Scotland and I didn't understand what their accents are so thick. I didn't understand half the shit they were saying. I was like, "What? This is."
They're the funniest people to watch get angry and lose their temper though, because you don't know the thing they're freaking saying.
Dude, and I'll tell you, I've been to a lot of bad areas around the world. I went to Scotland and Glasgow in the bad area. Like I was literally never been as scared as I've been scared. Like I'm I'm going to die. These kids come out with their Adidas tracksuits and their pit bulls and they're ready to take everything you got. Like they'll leave you there dead.
I've been to Glasgow, big Glasgow Rangers household over here, Cam.
Dude. Rangers is playing Celtic this Saturday for the club. I got invited to the club with the jokers at the bar.
Which club?
The Scottish club up by you.
No, but Celtic club or Rangers club?
Rangers club. You
okay,
clown.
Good.
See, we don't know. Actually, we shouldn't talk about this because then we'll lose our other side of listeners. We need all the help we can get. Fair. I love every team.
Except for the Glasgow Celtic, they can go.
Exactly.
They can go.
My buddy's a president of like the Rangers fan club. Like we go
that's
there
amazing.
all the time. Yeah.
All right, Cam. Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars, game 1 before we get out of here. Oilers are plus 110, Stars minus 130. I think I'm taking Stars on the money line here.
I'm going to take the Stars. If the Oilers win, I'm going to come back to the series and try to get even more on Dallas.
Man, if the Oilers win game 1 and we can get plus money on Dallas to win the series, my wife's not going to want to see the size of the bet I make.
Don't tell her. That's the beautiful thing. You should see my woman when DeChambeau didn't win again. We're getting sick and tired of Sunday disappointments, buddy. That's second. But I'm going to tell you this, guys. Very important stuff. Oh yeah, I want to give this one before we go. I have Colin Morikawa. He's 15 in the tournament, Drew. But for first round leader, they always jack the favorites.
Yep.
24-1 for Morikawa. I found our first round leader. We've won our first round leader bet the first 2 weeks. So if you hit the leader, don't worry about the tournament. That's my new thing. I go harder on first round leaders because I don't want to deal with Sundays anymore. I'm always in second. Always.
Amazing. All right.
Show, buddy. This was fun. We haven't talked in a while. It's been nice to hear what you're doing.
So that'll do it for the show episode of Drew and Stu. Cam, hopefully we win all our bets for game 1 of both these series. Hopefully the Panthers don't win the series, even though you're betting them to win the series. I think they might win the series, but I want the Rangers to get to the final so that you can win that future that you already took. Hopefully your dad's diarrhea goes away when you bring him some Imodium later. And got
to go hit Costco.
That's all we got. Thanks, everybody.
This has been Drew and Stu. Follow Drew at Producer Drew and Cam at Cam Stewart Live. May the winners be yours and all of the best bets hit.